Hi, boys and girls. Well, remember, your assignment is to make an Arctic fox. Something that you can have and show others what an Arctic fox would look like in the winter time. Yes, we're making a winter Arctic fox, which is going to look different than a summer Arctic fox. Now, in your packet of supplies, you're going to find the materials you will need to make your Arctic fox. Well, some of the materials. You'll have to get your own glue stick or your own tape, and you'll need to get your own markers or perhaps crayons too. And in your packet, you will find a plate that's got black lines on it. I've already cut some of my black lines. You had to cut one big section off. You had to cut one face section off. And then there's another section that looks like this. And this is the 4 legs, the 2 ears, and the tail. So I'm going to cut those right now. So I'm going to get my scissors and cut leg number 1, leg number 2, leg number 3, and leg number 4. And then I'm going to cut the tail. And I'm going to cut part of that off so that he has a nice pointy tail. And I'm also going to cut 2 ears. So I've got my 2 triangles here. Those are going to be my fox's ears. So cut one out and cut off the other. So now I have all of my parts to make my fox, and I'm done with my scissors. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is turn my Arctic fox over. Let's see. That's his belly right here. He's got a round tummy and a straight back. And I'm going to put my Arctic fox head onto my body. I'm going to use some tape to hold it in place. So get my tape. I'm going to tape it on. I'm going to use 2 pieces for my fox. I want to make sure that it's not going anywhere. So now I've got the head on there. Then I'm going to need some of his pointy little ears. He's got his head tipped to the side so he can listen for if somebody's coming. So get one little ear, tape that on. And I might put a piece on the front too just to secure it in place. And then another little ear. Stick that one on. Put that in place. A little bit fiddly. Hold that there. Now it's got base on there. And then I'm going to put on his curly tail. Likes his. I could either have his tail pointing out or I could have it pointing in. You pick. I think I'm going to have his tail sticking up, pointing towards his body, like he's getting ready to lie down and take a nap and use his tail to keep his nose nice and warm and stop it freezing in the Arctic snow. Now my body is almost ready. Then, of course, need some legs so he can get somewhere. So I'm going to take 2 of the legs and tape them in place. Let's see. Put 2 near the front. They have short little legs. Tape those on there. I might put them a little bit closer together. And then 2 on the back. Just like most animals that you would see that are 4-legged. 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Seems to be pretty much the general rule for most 4-legged animals. I don't think I've ever seen any animal with all 4 of its legs at the front or all 4 at the back. So now my fox is almost ready. But my fox isn't supposed to be smooth. It's supposed to be furry. So Before I cover it in fur though, I want to draw some features on my fox. So I'm going to take my black marker, you could use either a marker or a crayon, and put on the black nose. Because remember, an Arctic fox has a black nose. And did you know that's so it doesn't get sunburned? Because in the Arctic, the glare of the sunshine off the snow can give you sunburn. So black nose, and then black rounded eyes there. And I think I'm going to have my Arctic fox have blue eyes like mine. So I drew the eyes on so far, and I'm going to give them blue pupils, kind of like mine. So put the blue on there. There we go. And there's black around the edge of their eye, once again, to help protect it from that glaring sunshine. All right. Now, my Arctic fox is just about ready for its fur. Now, to make its fur and give my Arctic fox texture, so it's not smooth and flat, that's what your piece of paper towel is for. And to give it that furry, fuzzy look and not a sharp look, I'm going to use my pinching fingers and tear a little piece off. And see how it's got that little fuzzy piece on it? Now it looks like fuzzy fur instead of being straight. So that's where I get my glue. Put a bit of glue on and stick my first piece on. And then another piece of glue. I'm going to put a patch of glue on there so I don't have to keep stopping all the time to put the glue on. Get my pinchy fingers, make another little piece with its fuzzy edges, and stick it on there. Another little piece, stick it on that piece of glue until my Arctic fox is all covered. You can see that texture looking on there. And there's one that's already finished. So you can get to work on making your Arctic fox the way you would like it to be. Maybe your tail will be facing out, maybe be facing in. It's over to you. It's your Arctic fox. I think I'm going to call this Arctic fox Archie. And then I'm going to call this one Ariana. Yeah, those sound like good names to me. I wonder what you will name your Arctic foxes. All right, scientists, get to work building your Arctic fox.